I am Gayatri, working as Assistant Professor in EC Department at SNS College of Technology. Today I am going to discuss about the topic intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, which was studied by the first year students in the Fundamentals of Electrical and Electronics Engineering subject. Before going to discuss about the intrinsic and extrinsic type of semiconductors, we have to recall about the material types. First one will be the conductor, insulator and semiconductor. The conductor which is in the sense which will conduct the electricity, and insulator which does not conduct the electricity, and the semiconductor which will partially conduct the electricity. The semiconductor material which is playing the vital role between the conductor and insulator. Their conductivity will be based upon the temperature as well as impurity concentration. And the basic semiconductor material which we are deployed mainly is silicon and germanium. Let's now have the topic for the discussion. Today I am going to discuss about the what makes the intrinsic semiconductor unique, and what are the doping material and dopant what we are used in the extrinsic type of semiconductor, and in the extrinsic semiconductor what are the types of extrinsic n-type and p-type semiconductor, and where the extrinsic semiconductor will be used, and how the temperature will be affecting the charge carriers, whereas the charge carrier is nothing but which is electrons and holes. And coming to the topic, why we need of semiconductor. The semiconductor which is nothing but it is a heart of our electronic devices, where we can use a semiconductor in diodes, transistors, sensor, processor and CMOS technology. In VLSI, the semiconductor plays the vital role. When we are going to know about the semiconductor, we have to know about the intrinsic and extrinsic type of semiconductor, which is mainly used in efficient shaping of electronic devices, and will improve the scalability of electronic devices. And coming to the semiconductor basic, the semiconductor which is having the atom which is neutron, electron and proton. The proton which is nothing but which is positively charged, and electron which is negative charge, and neutron which is electrically neutral. And zero temperature, the semiconductor will be playing the vital role as insulator. When the temperature rises, the electron and hole pairs in the semiconductor will be generators. And coming to the two types of semiconductor, which is the intrinsic and extrinsic. The extrinsic, it is nothing but it is a pure form of semiconductor, where the pure form of semiconductor cannot be used for manufacturing of electronic devices. So we are adding some impurities in the purest semiconductor. That type is called extrinsic semiconductor. When we are adding the pentavalent impurity, then it is called n-type semiconductor. When we are adding a trivalent impurity, it is called p-type semiconductor. And coming to the intrinsic semiconductor, the intrinsic semiconductor which is having the properties of charge balance, where the electrons and neutrons will be equally balanced, and the conductivity source will be balanced, and material example the silicon and germanium will be example for intrinsic semiconductor, as well as the carrier concentration. The electron and hole pair concentration will be equal in the intrinsic semiconductor. The main feature of the intrinsic semiconductor is that electron and holes, the combination will be equal, and conductivity will be less due to the thermally generated pairs. And coming to the extrinsic type, the extrinsic which is we have already discussed, which is n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor. The n-type semiconductor, the dopant which is pentavalent impurity is added, so that there will be extra electrons, and there is a higher conductivity in that n-type semiconductor. And coming to the p-type semiconductor, we are adding the trivalent impurity, and there will be creating the holes in the p-type semiconductor, and it is used for diode p generation. And basically the p-type semiconductor play the vital role in transistors, as well as it is used in CMOS technology, and CMOS which is classified into NMOS and PMOS technology. technology. And today we have discussed about the intrinsic extrinsic semiconductor. We have the summary about the topic what we have discussed. The type intrinsic and extrinsic, and the impurity added, which is trivalent and impurity, trivalent and pentavalent impurity, and conductivity will be low. The majority carriers and the p type, which is holes, and the n type, the majority carriers will be electrons. Wherein intrinsic semiconductor, the electrons and hole balance will be equal. Coming to the quiz questions. And the first one, if the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the anode, then it is known as forward bias. And coming when it is connected to the negative terminal, then it is called reverse bias. And the second question, during the reverse bias, the small current will be developed in the VA characteristics, which is reverse saturation current. Then third one, if the voltage of the potential drop is V0, a voltage applied to the input at what moment will be the barrier, that is barrier potential will be disappears. When the applied voltage is greater than the barrier voltage, then the barrier potential will be disappears. These are the references we have taken for the topic intrinsic and extrinsic. Thank you.